the month of May, the year 2025. This is the afternoon sitting of the Senate proceedings, streaming live from the Senate chambers, Parliament buildings in Nairobi. And this is a broadcast that is brought to you by the Parliamentary Broadcasting Unit in partnership with the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation. A warm welcome to you as you join us this afternoon, and we are glad that you have managed to tune in for these proceedings. What you are currently seeing on your screens, that is the Senate chambers. Staff of the Senate, of course, doing the final operations before the members make their way to the chambers, as well as the Speaker's procession, of course, for the business of the day to run seamlessly. And of course, at 2:30, then we shall be expecting to see the procession of the Speaker making its way to make their way into the chambers for the business lined up for consideration this afternoon. Remember, once the Speaker makes his way into the chamber, if the House has not quorated, then that would necessitate a quorum bell. However, we believe that before then, we shall have a substantive number of members inside the chambers. Currently, as we are seeing, we do not say that they will be, of course, making into at the entrance of the Senate chambers. I can already see some activities, meaning as they convene for this sitting. Pursuant to provisions of standing order, this is a provision for maybe international, regional, county, or national concern. The Speaker of Nairobi City County, Honorable Edwin Sifuna, has already made his way into the chamber. Of course, we're expecting to see more senators make their way into the chambers. That is the, remember, the time allocated for the sitting is 2:30. And therefore, provisions of standing order 51, the Senator for Migori County, Honorable Eddie Okech, will seek a statement this afternoon from the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget. This is with regards to fraudulent activities targeting retirees' some pension payouts, monies that are expected to be other that the Honorable Senator will be seeking to have it addressed, of course, before the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget. Allocated for the sitting is 2:30. However, as you can see, business is yet to begin. Members of the Senate, just a few of them have already made their way into the chamber. I can see Senator Beatrice Sakinyi. I can see Senator Dulo already also in the, that is the entrance. We're expecting that more members will just be making their way inside, because to enable the House also attain the much required quorum if the business that is lined up for consideration this afternoon is to take place. Remember, once the Speaker's procession makes its way into the chamber and The prayer is said and chair taken. If the quorum is not present, then we shall have at least a 10-minute allowance for the members. However, if achieved, the House to be adjourned, then that means the business will believe that raised. The nominated senator, Mutinda, this afternoon will be seeking a statement from the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget as well. And this is regarding the operationalization of the Victim Protection Trust Fund. Senator Karen Nyamu also will seek a statement from the Standing Committee on National Security, Defense and Foreign Relations. This is with regards to the harassment, abuse, and eviction of hawkers in Nairobi Central Business District, commonly referred to as CBD, by the county enforcement officers. This is a concern touching on the county operations, the county of Nairobi, and this senator will be seeking to have this issue addressed, of course, before the National Security Defense broadcast, brought to you by PBU in partnership with KBC. Good afternoon.
Na tuombe. Mwenyezi Mungu, tunakusihi tutazame kwa neema nyingi na baraka sisi watumishi wako ambao umeridhika kutiitwa kwa nyadhifa za uongozi katika jamhuri hii yetu. Tunakuomba utuwajalie tuyatende na kufikia mambo yote atakayofikishwa mbele yetu kwa njia ya haki na uaminifu, ili kustawisha amani, ufanisi mikononi mwetu.
Well, clearly, the House has not cooperated, as we can see on the screen. Just a few have already gotten into the chambers. I can see the leader of the majority party, Honorable Aaron Cheriot, has also made into the chambers. Has directed that the quorum bell be on for 10 minutes. Of course, this is pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order number 40. Standing Order number 39 indicates that at least 15 senators shall be seated inside the chambers for the House to be deemed to have quorated. Senator Mundigi has also made his way into the chambers. If there are no 15 senators, at least 15 senators for the quorum, then that would of course necessitated that particular quorum bell to be just to alert the members of the Senate, make the priest, but yet to make their way into the chambers to at least chambers and join their colleagues. With that, that means then the business of the House cannot commence and shall only commence once that quorum is attained. So we hope that the senators will, of course, avail themselves into the chambers for the business to commence. Back to the business that will be transacted this afternoon. Pursuant to provisions of Standing Order 53, paragraph 1, this one provides to 6 statements from various Kibwana will this afternoon seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources. This is with regards to the status of housing facilities for forest rangers under the Kenya Forest Service. This is the KFS. The Senator regarding the dilapidated state of roads in the country, just in the quorum, or perhaps more members are still needed to be able to join the rest already in the chambers to enable the House attain that quorum. If you're just joining us, that the business is about to commence, there is just a quorum hitch at the commencement of the sitting of the Senate. That is why we have that particular quorum bell. More members, as you can see, making their way into the chamber. Remember, once that quorum is achieved, also lined up for consideration to the coffee bill, a bill originating from the Senate to the National Assembly for consideration as well. Number of amendments and various amendments that have been moved therein. The members will also consider a motion regarding the report of the Standing Committee on Health on a petition to the Senate by Ms. Mercy Jepchirchir. This is with regards to alleged medical negligence and staff incompetence, which led to the death of Ms. Anita Jepkorir at the Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital. Three bills this afternoon lined up for consideration at the division stage, meaning the debate on these bills.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair. Order number 3, messages. Order number 5, papers. Order number 6, notices of motion.
The Chairperson, Standing Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to move the motion that, aware that the National Assembly and the Senate passed the mediated version of the Conflict of Interest Bill, National Assembly Bills number 12 of 2023 on Thursday, 5th December 2024, and on Tuesday, 8th April 2025, respectively. Further, aware that His Excellency the President had reservations and referred back the bill to Parliament on 30th of April 2025, pursuant to the Constitution for reconsideration, noting that pursuant to Standing Order 100 and reservations to the Standing Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs and Human rights on Tuesday, 6th of May 2025, that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 172, the 14 days given to the committee to consider and lay its report on the bill lapses on Tuesday, 20th of May 2025. Now, therefore, notwithstanding the provision extended conflict of interest bill, National Assembly Bills number 12 of 2023 by a further 45 days to enable the committee to consider the President's reservation and lay its report on the table of the Senate on or before Tuesday, the 8th of July, 2025. Mr. Speaker, I move.
Do you move or you give notice, Honorable?
Sorry, Mr. Speaker, I give notice.
Senator Joe Newton. That business is deferred. Next order, clerk.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Statement pursuant to Standing Order 53-1, the Senator for Migori County, the Honorable Senator Eddie Okech. That statement is dropped. The Honorable Senator Tabitha Mutinda. That statement is dropped. The Honorable Senator Karen Nyamu. That statement is dropped. The statement by Senator Hamida Kibwana is deferred pursuant to the Senator's own request. The Senator for Nyamira County, the Honorable Senator Okongo Mugeni. That statement is dropped. Next order.
Order number 8, motion, extension of time for consideration of the Presidential Memorandum on the Conflict of Interests Bill, National Assembly Bills number 12 of 2023.
Chairperson Jailak.
Thank you once again, Mr. Speaker. To move on Thursday, 5th of December, 2024, and on Tuesday, 8th of April, 2025, respectively. Aware that His Excellency the President had reservations and referred back the bill to Parliament on 30th of April, 2025, pursuant to Article 115, Sub-Article 1B of the Constitution for reconsideration, noting that pursuant to Standing Order 171, the Speaker referred the President's memorandum and reserving rights on Tuesday, 6th of May, 2025, cognizant that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 172, the 14 days given to the committee for report or extend the time for the consideration of the Conflict of Interest Bill, National Assembly Bills number 12 of 2023, by a further 45 days to enable the committee to consider the President's reservation and was referred to this House by the President on the Conflict of Interest Bill. Remember, Mr. Speaker, the Conflict of Interest Bill began from the National Assembly, where it was passed and thereafter moved before the House, where certain considerations were made and a raft of amendments were done by the House. Considerations and the decision of this House to amend the bill, introduce certain clauses, and deleted some clauses. Ultimately, that bill was also approved by the National Assembly, and it was sent to the President for approval and assent. Unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, the President had reservations on the bill, and the bill was referred back to the House. Concurrently, that bill came to the Senate, and at the same time, it was sent to the National Assembly with 12 clauses that the President had rejected, giving his reservations, consider, and thereafter the bill is referred back to the President. Mr. Speaker, under the provisions of standing to remit its report on consideration of those 12 clauses, among others, before the House at the lapse of 14 days. It has considered its report. However, it has not been able to conclude within the 14 days that the standing orders provide. And that, Mr. Speaker, is the basis upon which we are placing this motion for consideration, so that we are given another 45 calendar days within which the committee is expected to consider and remit its report back to the House. At the same breath, Mr. Speaker, there is communication that has come and has been referred to the committee from the National Assembly, which is aimed at the process of the National Assembly as well as this House are expected to debate on and pass a version of the bill that has been agreed by the two houses. It only then behoves this House to grant us some time so that we have an engagement with the agreed version that the two speakers cannot and will not be able to be done within the 14 days, which is lapsing today. At the same time, the National Assembly are still on recess. They are resuming, I believe, on the when the National Assembly gives them to consider such reservations, whether from the President or otherwise, coming to the House on a bill that has been rejected. The 28 days, therefore, Mr. Speaker, means that it would require of us, even if we were to agree that we will do a joint mediation or a joint consideration of those reservations with the counterpart committee from the National Assembly, it can only be done when the period within which our standing orders provide has been enlarged, and we are therefore legally within that period. The issues, Mr. Speaker, that this procedural motion is asking is just one: give us 45 calendar days so that we can accommodate the consideration of those reservations and consider whether possible to have a joint meeting with our counterpart formally to consider this report. Mr. Speaker, I move and I request the Honorable Senator Chimera to second this motion. Thank you.
Senator Chimera, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I wish to second the motion as moved chair. This motion is pretty much straightforward, Mr. Speaker, as it speaks to the need to seek to extend the time within which the committee will be allowed time to consider the reservations as sent forward by the President. Mr. Speaker, you would notice this is the second time this bill is being referred back to Parliament for either further amendments, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, what has been proposed, if you look at the reservations from the President, it raises quite serious concerns and very weighty would-be amendments, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, we wish as a committee to be allowed much more time to be able to caucus, to be able to discuss and look thoroughly into the proposed acceptable version that will be ready for presidential assent. Mr. Speaker, for those many remarks, I wish to second the said motion, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Senators, this is a procedural motion. I may propose the question and open the floor for debate, or with your concurrence, I may proceed to put the question so that you vote on it and we proceed with other business. Do I have your concurrence that I proceed to put the question? Very well. I will now proceed to put the question. Yes. Honorable Senators, I will propose the question that aware that Parliament passed the Conflict of Interest Bill 2025 on Tuesday, 8th of April 2025. Further, aware that His Excellency the President had reservations and referred back the bill to Parliament on the 30th of April 2025, pursuant to Article 115, 1B of the Constitution for reconsideration. Noting that pursuant to Standing Order 171, Speaker the President Memorandum, Tuesday the 6th of Standing Order 172, the 14 days given to the committee to consider and lay its report lapses on Tuesday 20th of May 2025, which is today. Now, therefore, notwithstanding the provisions of Standing Order constituted by a further 45 days to enable the committee to consider the President's reservations and lay its report on the table of the Senate on or before Tuesday, the 8th of July, 2024. Now, having had your concurrence before proposing the question, I will now proceed to put the question. That aware that Parliament passed the Conflict of Interest Bill 2025 on Tuesday, 8th of April 2025, aware that His Excellency the President had reservations and referred back the bill to Parliament on the 30th of Memorandum and reservation to the Standing Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights on Tuesday, the 6th of May 2025. Cognizant that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 172, the 14 days given to the committee to consider and lay its report lapses on Tuesday, the 20th of May 2025. Now, therefore, notwithstanding the provisions of Standing Order 172, by a further 45 days, 45 calendar days, to enable the committee to consider the present reservations and lay its report on the table of the Senate on or before Tuesday, the 8th of July, 2025. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order, clerk.
Order number 9, motion, consideration of the National Assembly amendments to Coffee Bill, Senate Bills number 10 of 2023.
The chairperson, Standing Committee on Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want to thank this for taking us through this coffee bill, Honorable Speaker. This coffee bill 2023, bill number 10 of 2023, seeks to provide for the development and regulation of the coffee industry in Kenya. The coffee bill proposes to reorganize the coffee industry by transitioning the regulatory and commercial roles currently undertaken by the Agriculture and Food Authority to the Coffee Board of Kenya. The bill further seeks to transition the research of coffee currently undertaken by the Coffee Research Institute under the Kenya Agricultural and Livestock Research Organization to the Coffee Research Institute. The Coffee Bill 2023, Honorable Speaker, Bills number 10 of 2023, was published on 10th March 2023 and read for the first time in the Senate on Tuesday, 11th April 2023. And further, the bill stood committed to the Senate Standing Committee on Livestock, Agriculture and Fisheries for consideration. The bill was advertised in the Daily Nation and Standard newspapers on 15th June 2023. The bill was passed in the Senate with amendments on 1st August 2024 and thereafter referred to the National Assembly, where it was passed with amendments on 26th November 2024. The bill was referred back to Senate on 19th November 2024. Subsequently, the Speaker of the Senate conveyed the message of referral of the bill and amendments to the House on 3rd December 2024, and further referred the National Assembly amendments to the committee to consider and table a report in the Senate. Following the referral, the committee considered the National Assembly amendments to the bill on 25th and 26th of March 2025 and made the following observations and recommendations. The committee observes as follows, Honorable Speaker. Limiting the role of Agriculture and Food Authority, the bill seeks to amend the Crops Act 2013 so that to unbundle the regulation and management of coffee that falls within the ambit of the Agriculture and Food Authority and establish a standalone agency for its regulations. The committee took note that the transfer of coffee management to AFA has not improved the sector in any significant. The bill therefore proposes to reorganize the coffee industry by transitioning the regulatory and commercial roles currently undertaken by the Agriculture and Food Authority AFA to Coffee Board of Kenya. In this way, coffee will have a special current string host of other scheduled crops. Critical role of the coffee crop. The committee stressed on the importance of the coffee crop both locally and globally. The coffee export in the fifth foreign exchange earner after tourism, tea, horticulture, and remittances from diaspora. Coffee is the second most traded commodity in the world after oil and is one of the most strategic cash crops, contributing to Kenya's economic growth. Coffee is one of the major crops in Kenya, coming third after tea and horticultural produce. Decline in the market dominance, Honorable Speaker. The committee further noted that even with the decline over the years, the coffee industry injected billions of shillings in the country's gross domestic product over the years. Therefore, the enactment of the bill is key in reviving the industry. County government and functions. Honorable Speaker, the committee observed that most of the amendments were undermining the role of county government in the agriculture sector. Since agriculture ensure that they protect this by ensuring that county governments are responsible in implementing agricultural policies and programs. Assignment of roles. The effective performance of devolved functions require clear assignment of responsibilities to a specific office to ensure accountability. The County Executive Committee
CEC plays a pivotal role in policy formulation. In this case, the body responsible for policy decisions in this county executive committee, where such decisions are made collectively. Additionally, the committee noted that the policy head within relevant ministries in the county executive committee member who is responsible for translating policies into actionable programs. The committee recommends that the Senate adopts the report of the committee and the Senate adopts the committee recommendations on the National Assembly as per the attached schedule. I beg to move and request my good friend Commissioner Omatinga to second.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir. I rise to second the bill as moved by my chair of agriculture. The coffee sector is one of the backbone of Kenyan economy. We have witnessed a lot of success in terms of improved. It's good to report to this house that one of the reading which got a speaker, most of our factories enjoyed very good returns. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, streamlining the sector, ensuring that we see the leakages, ensuring that we put sound regulations that will regulate and operationalize the value chain in coffee sector will go a long way to encouraging our farmers. Mr. Speaker, sir, as has been ably presented by my chair, it is not lost to Mr. Speaker that there's been a lot of exploitation of the coffee farmers by cartels, that there's been a lot of exploitation, Mr. Speaker, because of complicated marketing structures that this bill will seek to address. On top of that, Mr. Speaker, the bill will also be seeking to mainstream by creation of a board that will ensure that the farmers get not only their due share of the coffee return, but it's unfortunate that you need to regulate even the marketing, the auctioning. We that are exposed to the IT technology, we know that you do not need to have an office, nor do you need to have a license to be able to buy it from us. To know that the coffee farmers can sell their crop where they want, when they want, and at a price that they've agreed on. Moreover, Mr. Speaker, we don't get paid, do not get money to till their farms. Mr. Speaker, this bill seeks to address some of these shortcomings and therefore encourage that it is time now that we start talking to coffee farmers, because we know that the average age of coffee farmers is above aging farmers exit the of subdividing pieces of land into small segments has also made coffee farming quite and from each factory. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, as we talk about improving the regulations around the coffee bill, about improving generation towards coffee farming, we must also address and we must also be quite intentional about getting value addition so that we do not only sell coffee as beans, but also as finished product to ensure that we create employment within the coffee sector, we create employment along the value chain, but most important, Mr. Speaker, that Kenyans also get to enjoy the good coffee that is one of the best qualities in the world. Mr. Speaker.
And I moved as seconded. I will now proceed to propose bill, Senate bills. Now the floor is open for debate. The Honorable Ledama Olekena. Sige.
Asante Bwana Spika. Naunga mkono mjadala ambaye unahusikana na mambo ya kilimo ambayo ni ya kahawa. Katika Kenya siku hizi tunaweza kusherekea mambo ya kilimo kwa sababu mambo ya kilimo iko katika devolution katika county government, na pia tunashukuru serikali ya Kenya Kwanza vile imekuwa ikiangalia vile mkulima ataweza kufaidika. Bwana Spika, tunagundua wakati hii serikali iliingia kahawa, ilikuwa hata watu wengi walikuwa na majaribu kukata kahawa katika masinani na kupanda vitu zingine. Lakini sasa tunasherehekea wakati huu. Tumeona kaunti zingine mambo ya kilimo ya kahawa, nakuta factory zingine na shilingi 40. Kwa hiyo ninaunga mkono tuweze kuwa na spika mambo ya kahawa. Wakati wazazi wetu wa zamani walikuwa nafunzwa, zile kaunti ilikuwa nalima mambo ya kahawa, ilikuwa ni mambo ambaye ilikuwa ya kusherekea sana, unakuta familia zao zilikuwa naenda vizuri. Lakini kwa miaka ingine iliyopita mambo ilikuja ikageuka, lakini sasa tunasherekea kwa sababu rais wa Kenya ambaye ni William Ruto alikuja akaunganisha watu pamoja, Bwana Spika, na akasema mambo ya katero siweze kuelewa, akatoa usuru mambo mingi, lakini sasa tunajivunia. Kwa hivyo mimi naunga mkono Bwana Spika, tukienda vile tunaendelea, mkulima wa kahawa katika Kenya mzima atakuwa anajivunia na itakuwa inatoka karibu shilingi 200. Kwa hivyo Bwana Spika, naunga mkono, sio kahawa peke yake, kuna mambo mengi tunafaa tuyaunge mkono. Kuna majani, makandamia, maembe na pia avocados, hata mirasto kumbuka, kwa sababu katika nchi ya Kenya mambo ya kazi imekosekana. Shule nyingi wazazi wengi wamekosa pesa ya kupeleka watoto shule, lakini vizuri na wakasoma shule hata ya juu na wakapata vyuo vikuu ya digrii, imekuwa hakuna kazi. Lakini tukiendelea vile utakuta katika Kenya kaunti 47 mambo ya kilimo itaweza kuwa kipaumbele. Kwa hivyo ni kuomba watu wote county government, kwa sababu katika mambo ya kilimo iko katika county government. Tumeona gavana wengine na ofisasi wengine wasaidii mambo ya kilimo. Bwana Spika, nikiongea mambo ya kahawa, wiki jana tulitembea huko katika Bungoma na Kisumu, lakini tukaangalia governors na wengine, unakuta wakati watu wengine wanajifunika kahawa inatoka shilingi 145, unakuta kaunti zingine kahawa inatoka shilingi 35. Unakuta maziwa kaunti zingine inatoka shilingi 52, unakuta kaunti zingine maziwa inatoka shilingi 40. Kwa hiyo ni mambo ya kwa sababu kumekuwa maheri, wengine watu wako. Kwa hiyo Bwana Spika, ningeomba mambo mkulima wa kahawa na wakulima wale wa vitu zile zingine watafaidika vizuri. Kwa hivyo Bwana Spika, mimi naunga mkono nikiwa senator wa Embu County, na ninafurahia katika Embu County mambo ya kahawa iko kipaumbele. Kwa hivyo ni ya mwisho ni kuomba county government na agriculture fertilizer iweze kutengenezwa, iweze kupelekwa mashinani, ndio tuweze kujivunia mambo ya kilimo. Kwa hivyo Bwana Spika, nikiwa senator wa Embu County, mimi naunga mkono. Ni mimi Daktari Alexander Munyika.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise to support, to contribute to the motion that has been put on the floor on the most of it are largely technical in nature, and I hope that the committee, when it goes to the committee, they'll be able to interrogate them in detail and they seem to be supportive of the bill. And so we should be able to finalize this bill because the bill is extremely important to the economy of this country. Coffee growing, right from the from the colonial days, and we hope that with these bills that have suggested that Sumu, Kakamega, Busia, Migori counties have a very high potential of producing very high quality coffee. This is implemented, so the potential of these crops, because as you can see, the sugar barons have already invaded Western Kenya, and they have made mincemeat of the sugar industry. There's hardly that there. So I support and I pray that the committee will give its best attention. And as I'm still on my feet, I want to raise a matter of great concern to the Senate in terms of our emergency preparedness. Today, I just learned that we are seeking an intervention from a medic. I just learned that the Senate does not have an emergency department or the parliament. We don't have even just St. John's ambulance to get first aid. So the challenge we had this morning should be an eye opener. It also occurred to me that we do not have the Bunge Tower, high as it is, does not have a lift where a stretcher can fit. We are only lucky that the emergency we had today happened on the first floor. So we're able to carry the victim using a stretcher by the staircase. Imagine if it had happened at that building, what would have happened? Time has come for us to hold people to it. That building cannot continue being like that. When I leave my office, I have to go and look for a shoe shiner to shine my shoes because the carpet gets off and sticks on my shoes. I need a service of a shoe shiner when leaving my office. It's very, very sad. Whoever designed that building, these people need to be arrested and locked away. Right from people who designed it, those people who supervised it, people who stood for it. We know that people who made millions of shillings out of that building. We know that people in this house who bought houses in Karen.
Senator Omtata, I just want to know, we are in order number 9.
Yes.
Debating the amendments as proposed by the National Assembly. It's a heavy matter you're raising, but I'm just struggling to find relevance with what you're saying and the matter at hand.
Yes,
I may ventilate on the very important matter, but for now, just restrict yourself to order number 9.
Okay, going back to the question of coffee, we also realize that coffee is a political crop. It's an internal crop, a political crop that requires heavy lobbying, and value addition for us should be a very important consideration. We cannot continue exporting raw beans, take it upon themselves to make sure that the question of value addition is seriously addressed, and we see how this country can make. We should even maybe make it illegal, like European countries have done, that you cannot export them. So that we can try to just make sure that we do whatever it takes to export finished products from Kenya. This idea of raw materials has created poverty among our farmers. If you a tin of Nescafe, anything. Let's really try to think of how we can invest in the coffee industry, the chain, the value addition systems and the factories and whatever, so that we can begin creating Kenyan coffee, get maximum value from the raw material. The value necessarily in raw material. But I pray, Mr. Speaker, that these studies that have come up showing that there are many, many areas of this country that can grow coffee and do it profitably are also looked at. And investments prepared for it so that the culture and the politics of coffee locally can be opened up to many sectors, and we develop a proper industry, right from the farm to the coffee cup. We have control and we have Kenyan control. Mr. Speaker, with those few words, I thank you for the opportunity.
Senator Cheriot, Majority Leader.
Motion. Probably it would be good for me to what the committee is proposing. There's a little technicality, Mr. Speaker, in how this motion is drafted, because the motion before us, as moved by the Chair of Agriculture Committee, is that the National Assembly amendments to the coffee bill be now considered. Yet, in considering the report of the committee, if you look at the report of the committee, Mr. Speaker, they're actually rejecting some of those these amendments. It means, Mr. Speaker, we have to sit as a committee of the whole, reject those amendments in the committee of the whole, then now send them to the assembly for us to come and do a mediation, then consider those amendments again. So therefore, there wasn't proper fluency in how this motion was drafted, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, the easiest thing that I urge my colleagues to do is that for us to achieve what, and therefore necessitate the formation of a mediation committee between us and the National Assembly, then we can pass the mediated version of the bill, which will be agreed between the two houses. It's a very simple and forward matter, Mr. Speaker. So for that reason, I oppose this motion, Mr. Speaker, and agree to the reasoning behind the rejection of the amendments by the National Assembly. I'm a proud representative of coffee farmers, Mr. Speaker. Hardly do farmers, and I represent coffee, tea, and sugarcane farmers in this house, Mr. Speaker. And hardly do farmers appreciate government effort in any particular industry. I think in my time here in the Senate, on only 2 or 3 occasions I've done that. In the year 2021, Mr. Speaker, when we passed the tea bill sponsored by yours truly, and farmers began receiving their payment by 5th of every month, as opposed to the previous part, they'd wait sometimes even for 2 months, and so many other accruing benefits, including, Mr. Speaker, the ability of farmers to vote in directors into their factory on the principle of one man, one vote, not to be confused by another mantra, Mr. Speaker, that is common in our political parlance. Farmers appreciated and other farmers were happy. Of course, the story is different right now, and there are challenges, serious ones that need to be addressed. Coffee farmers, Mr. Speaker, at this particular day and time are extremely happy. When I go to part of my county, Mr. Speaker, that has coffee growing farmers, they are that are coming into place of this administration, Mr. Speaker, they're receiving 30 shillings, sometimes even 20. As it is to one of my largest coffee societies, the Kipkelian Coffee Society, is selling and gaining price of upwards of 100, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, interest of our farmers to ensure that every amendment that we move in this particular house, Mr. Speaker,
serves to protect their interest more. They should actually be earning what, but Nairobi Coffee Exchange had been handled, Mr. Speaker. They were serious challenges. And I must appreciate the efforts that have been made to get them to that. How do we ensure that farmers continue to gain? And there's a reverse trend in my own county. Previously, when I went to the coffee growing areas, they'd challenge me and say, the same way you guys worked hard for the tea farmers, we want to see our benefits. That was the song last time. But this time, it is now, the noise is on the tea side. They're challenging, why did you guys focus too much on the coffee side? Now our tea crop has all these problems. And you know, the benefits also in the sugarcane side. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, as representatives of farmers ordinarily, we need to take such bills with the seriousness that it deserves. No, agriculture is a devolved function. The policies and legislative proposals that we pass in this particular house must reflect the spirit of our constitution, ensuring that we protect the interest of our farmers, Mr. Speaker, that we pass legislation that captures the understanding that there are two levels of government, the national government and the county government, Mr. Speaker, and the need to therefore, as a representative of the people, to ensure that in all the conversation, the Committee on Agriculture for their industry, it will have been easy because I know we have gone to public forum many times, Mr. Speaker, and people have spoken, Mr. Speaker, on the need to conclude on this particular exercise. Sometimes it makes sense to hold out, even just for a few more days, but get the right piece of legislation. It's not easy to legislate on such a political crop like, and therefore for that in this assembly now back to this house, and about, of course, we have to expedite because we have to lock in the gains at this particular time when the farmers are happy, and there are many Kenyans that continue to take advantage of the good vibes that farmers have at this particular point. Therefore, I hope that the members who will eventually get to have this particular motion and follow through will expedite on that exercise. I am particularly concerned, Mr. Speaker, because nowadays, while previously mediation exercises will take between, on average, 2 to 3 weeks, some of our mediation exercises, Mr. Speaker, are beginning to take fairly long. And I want to request chairpersons and those members that we grant the opportunity to serve, Mr. Speaker, in mediation committees, that they would actually consider expediting, especially people-centric legislation like this particular one and so many others, Mr. Speaker. It will be something worth considering and making sure that we good on this. No, Mr. Speaker, that for example, the last 2-3 months, the country has been conversing about the menace of gambling in our republic and the need to rein in betting farms and all these institutions. Yet we have a mediation committee that has served, I think, almost 70 days now and counting between us and the assembly. A bill that began in the assembly came here. They disagreed with our amendments, Mr. Speaker, and now there's a mediation team that we formed, I think, in the month of March. We are now nearing June. Before concluding the exercise, I want to urge colleagues, Mr. Speaker, that when we have a matter that is people-centric, especially that is topical in the people, for there is need to be particular. I don't know who sits in that committee. I can't recall who the Senate sent to represent in that represent our farmers. Mr. Speaker, with those many remarks, I beg to oppose the motion for the reasons that I had explained earlier, and hope that we can conclude on this exercise as soon as our colleagues
from the other house resume next week. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to make some submissions on this report. In as far as going through clause by clause of the amendments made by the National Assembly. Mr. Speaker, there are a few amendments made by the National Assembly that I agree with, and there are some that I wish that the good committee had given us on what to amend or the language to be used. Mr. Speaker, the first amendment which has been made that I support is the amendment in terms of the broker. When a person is called a broker, that this commodity is being sold abroad, you have to go to a market and actually be able to broker the deal to buy and the seller. It's imperative that your amendment that I fully support entirely is the amendment on who the buyer is. I do not need to be licensed. Sometimes I think we just over legislate. I do not need to be licensed to be able to go and buy coffee for me to be able to. If you look at the amendment as drafted by the National Assembly, you will be shocked. I mean, it's absolutely ludicrous. You know, if I was to buy coffee, I should go to the broker and bid my price and buy coffee. If I want to be able to add value. But if there's a farmer in Narok, and now I'm in I can see some people trying to grow some population to be able to venture into the agricultural sector and grow. But now if you have to be able to only use a broker to be able to sell, you are actually going back to the colonial era when our country was, you know, the crops in our country were defined between the cash crops economy, and in fact at that particular time only growing goods to be able to feed the British in the UK and also the West. So, Mr. Speaker, I think this definition of who a buyer should be actually be completely rejected. And I hope that the committee would have said, the committee has done a fantastic job. And let me thank the chairperson on agriculture, you know. And but I hope that Mr. Chairperson would have gone and say the committee rejected this amendment and suggested the following, so that it guides us, so that even when we select a team to go through mediation, they can be able to go and say, this is the language to be used. You know, I'd hope that they would have said, in terms of the buyer, remove, you know, delete that. Just let everybody be able to buy. Now, the second part, which I also detest, is you're required that a farmer is defined, you know, so before I grow coffee, I have to go, which plant can I grow here? I strongly believe that we should have that completely deleted. I noted that the committee had accepted that clause amendment, but I'm of the view that every Kenyan who has an interest, we are training students, Mr. Speaker. I'm currently recruiting 100 students of Narok County to be able to offer scholarships to them and train them in agribusiness. I don't want to be able to guide those students and tell them you can only be able to plant these three. So certain definition needs to be removed. So, Mr. Speaker, without wasting so much time, I wish to request my colleagues to go through these amendments one by one, so that when we go through the committee of the whole, sometimes we, by just acting on how we can also further amend those clauses, and then when now we go to the mediation, there is a version that will be coming from the Senate. But if we are just saying that we have rejected because of the following reason and not giving an alternative, that is what will lead to the committee, mediation committee, taking more than the 70 days that the majority leader has alluded to. So, Mr. Speaker, I equally reject all these amendments, and I root for liberalization of the coffee industry. Let everyone grow. You know, in terms of marketing, I've seen that in terms of marketing, you also have to be licensed. If I travel today and I go to the States and I sit with Starbucks and they tell me that they want to buy coffee in Kenya, I cannot market coffee there as a Kenyan. I have to say, okay, let me look for a licensed marketer. You know, this should be a willing buyer, willing seller. So let's liberalize this economy. Let's allow more people to grow coffee as they wish. You know, let's do away. Let's now divorce ourselves from this colonial mentality of defining our agricultural sector as a cash crop and other crops. You know, we're still following through. Hey, manana ya nyayo, sorry, Mr. Speaker, we need to stop it. You know how to grow. If these amendments, and I hope that, and I support the committee report fully, and I oppose. I support the committee for having done their work, but I oppose the motion. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mogeni.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I'm also speaking on behalf of my farmers. From my 4 constituencies in Nyamira, 3 of them are farmers who grow coffee, who grow and sell coffee, Senator Mondigi. That is North Mogirango, West Mogirango, and Kitutu. And the North Mogirango, Mr. Speaker, neighbors, my good friend, Senator Cheruyot. But what I've never understood, both for my tea farmers and the coffee farmers, I've never understood why farmers from Central Kenya earn more money than my farmers from Nyamira and even from Kericho. I've never understood. Senator Cheruyot, I don't know that you are aware, our farmers, dry coffee, they were paid $239. From where Senator Wamatinga comes from, they were paid 500 shillings. 356, not 500. At times this time we had to pay, I'm happy, because the other time they were earning 1.5 times more than others. You know, we want fairness for all our farmers. When we sell coffee or tea, we are selling coffee coming from Kenya. We never sell coffee coming from Nyanza or coffee from Central. We sell it as coffee coming from a country called Kenya. So we want fairness for farmers, both from Central, where our brothers are, we have in-laws there, and also farmers from Nyanza, from Rift Valley. And we have the same problem even in tea, where we understand that farmers from Central Kenya fetch better prices than our farmers from Nyamira. We want the government, if it's to regulate the auctions, the selling of tea, we get fairness, Senator Muti. The farmer in Nyamira and the farmer in Central wants to pay school fees. They want to buy a kilo of meat for themselves. They also want to wear nice suits. So we want fairness. So I mean, whatever laws we are passing here, the thing should be fairness to all the farmers in Kenya. We all benefit because I'm told in Brazil, there was very bad weather that has affected coffee production. So we are now gaining here. Let's gain all of us. If we are earning 350, we want the government to assist our farmers. You know, because the coffee has now become a coffee, you store it in a coffee society, chances are that somebody somewhere will plan and rob you. Speak for my go to Kemera in West Mogrango, or you know societies. Why can the government step in, create a fund, face these coffee societies nicely? Because the farmers are also contributing to foreign earning. Face the coffee societies nicely, okay? Have a gate entry to the coffee factory, connect them to electricity, okay? Improve their beds, the beds they use for drying coffee, so that they can also enjoy and say the environment we are trying to make money from is good and appreciates the farmer. Mr. Speaker, last year, a watchman, a guard, a night guard, was attacked and killed by thieves who were stealing coffee from Eaka Coffee Society in North Mogrango. And up to date, as I'm speaking today, the person who attacked this farmer or the past have not been arrested to date. So we also need to understand that the environment under which we process and store our coffee exposes our farmers to a lot of risk. So I would want the government to also step in, assist these farmers. Some of the societies have loans that have been outstanding for many years. Anytime they make good earning, their money goes to repaying their loans. I hope the government can step in and help. Now, some of the proposals in this from the National Assembly are hard to understand. Surely, why does SRC want to come in to set see, we are stretching the money to come to Nyamira, to sit in North Mogrango, sit in Kitutu, sit in West Mogrango to tell farmers what their sitting allowance would be. Because you can set a sitting allowance that the farmers will never afford. So if you make good money there, pay them more. If we are not able to make good money in Yamira, we want to save on the allowances we pay to what I mean meddling, and they are the one is setting allowances for farmers. I hope people will go to do mediation, will strike off that amendment. I don't understand whether our brothers in National Assembly don't live in our counties where we come from. This is something they should be able to understand. SRC will think a board member attending a meeting should be paid 25,000. If you pay as you know the earnings from the cooperative society, so let that be a matter that will be dealt with by the farmers themselves. They will see the earnings from that society and then decide the remuneration they are going to give their directors. I like this idea of value addition. We have spoken about value addition for ages. When you go and take a cup of tea, Senator Cheragay, I was in Gishu on Friday. I went to take a cup of coffee. Do you know how much I was charged? Imagine. And now for my farmer in Yamira, you want to pay them a whole 1 kilo. You just want to pay them 239 dry coffee. And 1 cup of tea in Gishu. Now, that's not in the capital city of Nairobi, though Eldoret is a nice, beautiful city. But in Eldoret, I'm paying for a cup of coffee at 350. He's earning 239. We are not being fair to our farmers, really. This guy should be paid, 1 kilo should fetch more than 1,000 shillings. Because how many cups of coffee will 1 kilo produce, Senator Mundigi? Many. That small sachet is the one that's making me to pay.
Senator Mogene.
Yes.
What is Gorgo? Because you referred to something as, and I'm struggling to understand what you mean.
You know, I'm trying to connect. You know, Gorogoro is that tin when you take that coffee in that tin, that's the one we call now 2 kilos. In Nyamira, we call it gorgor. When I speak that language, my people in Nyamira understand. Yeah, everywhere. Speak, I'm sure even in Kilifi. even in Kilifi. But the point I'm making, Mr. Speaker, imagine, just imagine, you deliver a 2 kilogram tin of coffee and all you are earning is 239. And you go to London, that cup of coffee we took Sergei in Eldoret, we paid 350. There you will pay $3. That's how much? It's about 450 something. Yeah. So we must do something, really. We must do something so that we make the farmer to be the one who is benefiting more. They are the ones toiling. Where the person going to take a cup of coffee is just going to, but the farmer is toiled. He needs to get earning that will pay fees for his child, that will make him afford medical bills in hospital, that will make him to dress nicely, like the farmers I saw in Wasingishu wearing suits. That's what we want for our farmers, Mr. Speaker. And then let's not steal a lot of money from our farmers. This bill is proposing an introduction of other levies. The moment you introduce a levy, who is going to meet the cost? It's the farmer. Yeah. I went to school in Kabianga. The opposite of Kabianga was coffee. Kericho Kenya Coffee Research Foundation. So research for how long? For eternity. And that cost is being transferred to the farm. You are giving another levy here, you are calling it, I don't know, development levy. For what? Let us reduce. This is the taxation on our farmer. Let's be fair, senators. This is taxation. This is more taxation on our farmers. So let's not allow passage of laws that take more pain to the farmer. If they are lucky to get the good earnings they are getting, let that money be for the benefit of government. But let's spare the farmer. Already they are facing enough pain. So I really hope, Mr. Speaker, that the senators who are going to sit in this mediation committee ensure that you don't allow these proposals from National Assembly that wants to tax the farmers' earnings more. Already the taxation they are facing, they are the ones who pay the directors, they are buying coffee, they are paying the person tilling the shamba, the one plucking, society expenses. That's enough. Extra income, let it go to the pockets of the farmer. So finally, I hope the government will continue supporting our farmers. We were in this Senate last time. The Coffee Cherry Fund never benefited us in Western Kenya, Mr. Speaker. It never benefited us. You, Kericho, you benefited. Mr. Speaker, Kericho,
Order, honorable senators.
if he's informing me, can inform me.
What is the point of order, Senator Cheriot?
Senator Mogeni was doing so. House should reflect that, Mr. Speaker, that we never got a shilling from the Cherry Fund. But I think I forget the name of the minister. Munya, yes. Thank you.
Benefited for equity, for fairness to me. let him also remember the farmers and the farmers from Kericho. At least the ones in Nandi don't take a lot of attention with coffee. But let us also benefit, Mr. Speaker. Let us have fairness. Let us have equity. Imagine, Mr. Speaker, farmers sat last time, we debated on this floor. Just imagine how those farmers felt, just seeing 4 counties from one region. I'm appealing to the CS, Mutai Kawe. I'm appealing to the Republic of Kenya. Last time, also the farmers in west of Kenya benefit. We also pay taxes, Mr. Speaker. We also want to live good life. We want our farmers to live good life, Mr. Speaker. I'm appealing to the CS and to the President of the Republic to remember the farmers of west of Kenya this time around. Speaker, with those remarks, I oppose the motion. Thank you.
Senator Fernandi, the Honorable Chirake.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. It is good that we are discussing serious issues. Mr. Speaker, one of the biggest agenda of President William Ruto was on fixing the mess in farming through guarantee minimum returns, coffee and tea sector. Mr. Speaker, the president continued to perform exceptionally very well in fulfilling the agenda, even president, because he continues to wrong the naysayers by launching 1,010 affordable Mukuru Estate Affordable Housing Program. The unfortunate part is the senator of Nairobi did not turn up, but the entire leadership of Nairobi was there.
Senator
proof.
Senator Fernandi.
I'm just tying up with
confine the matter
coffee
at hand.
Mr. Speaker, as
You know our standing orders on,
I'm well guided,
on the
Mr.
issue
Speaker.
of relevance. I don't want to rule you out of order.
Yes.
Please proceed with your
Mr. Speaker,
with your contribution on
yes,
the subject.
I'm
at hand.
coming there, Mr. Speaker. I'm bringing it home.
You're already there. Can you proceed?
Yes. Mr. Speaker, thank you, because I wanted to show the nation that the president continues to fulfill his agenda. One of the agendas, apart from affordable housing, is the issue of guarantee minimum returns, the coffee sector reforms, the tea sector reforms, Mr. Speaker. And we continue to prove our naysayers wrong. Even in the dairy sector, Mr. Speaker, it is a fulfillment that will not go unnoticed. A total misnomer that has been advanced by the senior council that Nandi did not grow coffee. We grow coffee, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, he was in Wazingishu. You know, it is sad because the judicial notice from a senior council, who is one among the three, to be aware that he was in Wazingishu County, he was not in Nandi County. Would it be in order that the clerk's office guides the good senior council on how counties are? Because when you are in Eldoret, you are in Wazingishu. He was not in Nandi. So I want to correct that record, Mr. Speaker. Nandi, Mr. Speaker, where we border Kericho, we plant coffee in Tindret, over 80%. We plant coffee in Nandi Hills. We plant coffee in Masop, in Chesume, up to Wazingishu, where he was, Mr. Speaker. And I was disappointed when in the last session, the speaker, the current speaker of the National Assembly, moved this house. Because at that time, both feature refund, Mr. Speaker. And I hope CS Mutai Kagwe will correct this travesty of justice against the farmers in Nandi. As we talk, a number of cooperative societies from Kipshele Cooperative Society, Mr. Speaker, Kabwe County, Mr. Speaker, have yet to give the startup, and I've challenged the expert, Mr. Speaker, the cabinet secretary in charge of Elsa Oparanya, cooperative society who struggle, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, under guarantee minimum returns, Mr. Speaker, that the president, that the covenant that he had with Kenyans, Mr. Speaker, we must relook and ensure that farmers get value, Mr. Speaker. And it is said that the average farm, the Gen Z's, Mr. Speaker, to be part of bringing agro business in terms of running of our farms, Mr. Speaker. And I'm happy, Mr. Speaker, it doesn't explain. I saw the Commissioner of Parliamentary Service Commission. I want to inform him that even as we sit in our restaurant here in Parliament, they charge, or whichever the name, but it's coffee, house coffee, I don't know, chicken coffee or something like that. They serve us coffee. There's no cappuccino. It is called house coffee. 350 shillings, Mr. Speaker. You can imagine the frustration of first-time members of Parliament who are still putting their financial in order. So it is unwavered, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, it is unfair that you are charging 350 shillings coffee here. Across House of Java is 450 shillings. Yet it is being financed by our budget from Parliament, Mr. Speaker. Even if we want to promote, when you work in US, this is around $3, Mr. Speaker. So it is very unfortunate that the value that ordinary farmer, Mr. Speaker, I want to say this because that our farmers wake up very early in the morning to go. But Mr. Speaker, you saw even there is another statement that 34 billion. What offense are Western Kenya farmers committed? We are struggling with sugar crisis, leasing that 30 bonuses, again, Mr. Speaker, are correlated. We are being paid in Nandi, they are being paid up to 58 shillings. Mr. Speaker, it is not fair. We must take a deliberate, even as we took off coffee sector reforms. And I want to challenge the chairperson of agriculture. I have never seen them participate in coffee caucus sector reforms. I saw only the member of parliament of Nyeri Town called Duncan Matenge, who is the chair of coffee parliamentary caucus. I have not seen Senate becoming proactive. I know the vice chair, the good professor, Dr. Mundigi, the deputy party leader of DP. I have not seen their input in the coffee caucus of parliamentary, Mr. Speaker. We need to caucus, even in the tea sector, Mr. Speaker, so that we can see value. Mr. Speaker, in terms of conversation, there are better conversations we can do outside this room. Very critical points, and then I see the floor. I don't agree. There was no need to define these things, so this one should be deleted. Even the coffee grower. So how will you know? If you are leasing a farm and then you grow, so what? Mr. Speaker, this one should go home, should be deleted, Mr. Speaker. Even, Mr. Speaker, on the issue, another factor is the danger of coffee theft, especially in Mount Kenya region. Mr. Speaker, I'm proposing, the unfortunate part is the incompetence in that ministry, but let me propose. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Interior should form what we call anti-coffee protection unit to protect our farmers. Yes, to protect our farmers the way we have done for anti-stock theft unit. Let us also form anti-coffee police unit to protect our coffee, Mr. Speaker. You have seen deaths even in Nyamira, in Muranga, in Mumero, Mr. Speaker, where your deputy speaker comes from. Coffee is a matter of life and death. The Ministry of Interior must form anti-coffee police unit, Mr. Speaker, at least so that our farmers can feel safe. And I think also the Ministry of Interior must give powers to the Inspector General of Police, which of course is independent, to have a circular where the armed police officers are providing 24-hour surveillance and security in our coffee factories across the country. Mr. Speaker, this is because you remember the story of Chep Kube during the Kenyatta era, Kenyatta 1, Mr. Speaker. And I know the youth leader Oburu Odinga is a custodian of history of this country. Mr. Speaker, coffee has been treated like a gold. People are dying because of coffee, Mr. Speaker. So we need issues of protective mechanisms, Mr. Speaker, so that our farmers and the farmers' produce can feel safe, because when we Mr. Speaker, the anti-coffee police unit should be formed the way anti-stock theft unit has been formed, and the terrorism police unit have been formed, diplomatic police unit. In fact, I think that at some point, Mr. Speaker, when some of us were being removed bodyguards, Mr. Speaker, last session, because we had a different view with the regime that was there, we lost our bodyguards, Mr. Speaker. We had even thought that we should form a police unit so that we are not subject to few people within powers who can withdraw bodyguards of VIP protection, Mr. Speaker. So based on parliamentary, in fact, we suggested something that I'm bringing it, Mr. Speaker.
What is
from,
order, Senator Form?
Honorable Speaker, I wanted my good friend, Senator Charlie, who is summing police unit, anti-coffee. So is it anti-coffee or coffee? Because it is now really, I'm not getting it right, and also maybe you might mislead to really watching us. Because the subject matter is very, very emotive. And with what you have really conversed and all the members, I was following up this matter throughout this afternoon. But you can really collect is not anti-coffee. Police should be against the coffee. Okay, thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Deputy Speaker and Senator Katuri Muruni, for that correction. I meant that the issue is to protect our coffee factories and where coffee is being stored. So that is what actually I meant, to prevent the theft. A police unit should be formed to prevent the theft of coffee in this country. And more so, the Ministry of Interior can start with coffee factories for now, and where coffee is being given, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, I agree that should be the least we can. And the principle, Mr. Speaker, so that I qualify my argument, is that it is not, we are not talking about the issue of giving police to prevent theft of coffee. Even I'm talking about livestock, Mr. Speaker, even diplomats. So it is not, so Kenyans, when Kenyans will listen, we are not saying Ministry of Interior should get extra budget. It is just reallocation and creating a department or a police unit that will specifically deal against coffee theft in this. And we have formed many units, Mr. Speaker. Number 3, Mr. Speaker, is on taxation, Mr. Speaker. The reading of Article 210 on imposition of taxes and the reading of Article 209, Mr. Speaker. We need to be very careful. Taxation is killing our people, Mr. Speaker. You remember the dissent that we had last year of the young people over the finance bill in this country was because of taxation. Mr. Speaker, this issue of increasing levies, Mr. Speaker, whenever you walk to a coffee or a hustler kiosk here in Ngara, Mr. Speaker, when you look at the wall, it has become mosaic because of so many taxations that Kenyans are paying. We need to stop this culture that we can grow the country through overtaxing Kenyans, Mr. Speaker. We need to overgrow that. You go, somebody is paying public health, they are paying county government, they are paying music copyright society, Mr. Speaker. When you look at the number of taxes that Kenyans pay, even at the smallest level, Mr. Speaker, we should do away with this taxation. And this culture of double taxation is killing the business in our counties. Because if you are buying machine cut stones in Thika, before you enter Nakuru, they want you to pay cess. Before you enter Wasingishu, they want to pay you cess. Before you enter Nandi, they want to pay you cess. Mr. Speaker, we are killing the spirit of business by encouraging double taxation. And therefore, this country will not, Mr. Speaker, will not grow because of double taxation. And therefore, I want to encourage this issue of levies must stop. Because the reading of Article 209 and 210, in as much as, Mr. Speaker, that we need to arrogate powers to Parliament, Parliament must be self to alive to economic realities. If farmers continue or people who deal with coffee, Mr. Speaker, you know what happens? The people who do coffee business, they don't care. They will just arrogate those taxes to the farmer. And then the farmer, we would have paid 250 shillings per kilo. But because taxation is high, we will just pay you 200 shillings because we have to pay that taxation. So I want to say there was lack of wisdom in introduction of this taxation part, Mr. Speaker, because Kenyans are tired with taxes. We only grow this country by creating an enabling environment, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on point number 4 is on the issue of SRC, Mr. Speaker. We are overstretching the mandate of Salaries and Remuneration Commission. The business of SRC that was envisaged by the Constitution was very clear, to advise. Mr. Speaker, you know our cooperative societies in our villages, some of them run on losses. Some of them are being run by charity, where directors or people who run coffee societies are supporting as part of giving back to the community. If SRC today says people who run coffee societies should be paid 25,000, some of the coffee societies are in Nandi County do not have that capacity. And why are we overstretching the mandate of SRC? SRC has never accounted for anything that they do. You remember, Mr. Speaker, they did frustrate members of County Assembly, MCAs. I have not seen it. When it started in 2013, Mr. Speaker, the money that was being won was more than 150. Now they have cut it down to 80. SRC we are giving SRC powers that do not have. We should not allow SRC, Mr. Speaker, to do anything because they are the ones that their work is to advise based on the economic performance. So when you introduce SRC, Mr. Speaker, on the role that we are having, Mr. Speaker, is very unfair. Farmers, let allow coffee, the issue of SRC, Mr. Speaker, let them allow the coffees to be run by the board's managements that we have, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, another factor, Mr. Speaker, this one is on SRC Board of Directors, shall be paid as SRC Commission shall determine. Mr. Speaker, let us allow coffee is on its dead need. Let us allow the coffee to regulate itself and agree, because I don't know why members of National Assembly will want to introduce this issue of SRC in this. SRC is, their work is to advise. They are not to, I know we are running overstretch their mandate, Mr. Speaker. In fact, I'm bringing an amendment, Mr. Speaker, that we should make SRC part-time. Because I think they are too idle in their offices. Until nowadays, they have realized the bogeymen or bogey women is to just review salaries of politicians in this country. We must make them, they only meet 4 times a year, and we can make part-time because they are changing, Mr. Speaker. Who will watch the watcher? No one will watch. And you know, they say when your goat gets lost, the smell of the stew in your neighbors, you become suspicious over it. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to say I reject in capital letters this motion, Mr. Speaker. Let's go to the mediation for the benefit of a coffee farmer in Kamunge, in Masab sub-county, in Nandi County, Mr. Speaker. Let us go for this, Mr. Speaker, for a farmer, Mr. Speaker, for a farmer in Antibaiju, in Meru, Mr. Speaker, for the benefit of this nation. Let's reject this motion until and unless, Mr. Speaker, we agree, or now we can, Mr. Speaker, I am offering, and it's good the majority leader is here. I hope I will not miss in the mediation committee, because I need to educate some members of National Assembly on how coffee issues should be handled in this issue, Mr. Speaker. With those very many remarks, I totally reject this motion with everything that I have. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Now, honorable senators, before I call the mover, to respond, visiting teachers and pupils from Chania Primary School and 40 pupils who are in the Senate for a one-day academic exposition. We also have visiting teachers and pupils from Uhoini Comprehensive School. The delegation comprises 6 teachers and 51 pupils. This school is also from Nyeri County and is on a one-day academic exposition at the Senate. Now, honorable senators, in our usual tradition of receiving and welcoming visitors to Parliament, I extend a warm welcome to them, and on behalf of the Senate and my own behalf, wish them a fruitful visit. I will call upon the Senator for Nyeri County to extend a word of welcome, that to be done under 1 minute. You may proceed, Senator Wamatin.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir, for giving me this opportunity to welcome the pupils from Shania Comprehensive School and Wayne Comprehensive School, both in Nyeri County. Mr. Speaker, sir, some of us, when we sponsor such as students to come and visit us in the Senate, it's because we want to give the kind of exposure of what goes on around here. We want to also give them an opportunity to get inspired so that one day when they are set to the offices such as ours, they can be good leaders. Mr. Speaker, sir, Nyeri County is renowned having produced some of the best leaders, among them being Moi Kibaki. When I look at the pupils up there, Mr. Speaker, I see potential Moi Kibakis only if we as leaders also give them a good image, give them good example, and most important, Mr. Speaker, behave as good leaders and make pronouncements that will inspire them and ensure that they get the time. Mr. Speaker, as I sit down, it is also indeed very important to acknowledge the role that education plays in this country. Mr. Speaker, we've seen through parliamentary diplomacy in the countries that we go, that we've met many Kenyan students who've become renowned in foreign countries because of the good education they've received. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I wish to take this opportunity to welcome both Chania and Hueni Comprehensive Schools and wish them that they'll get a fruitful day and that they get to take something home. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Wakoli, you may now respond, having moved this motion.
Honorable Speaker, I want to appreciate the contribution of honorable members on this coffee bill. It elicits a lot of emotions across the country. Honorable Speaker, we were with the Minister for Cooperatives, Honorable Oparanya, in Bungoma on Friday. He had a real taste of the feeling and the suffering of the farmer in Bungoma, Honorable Speaker. We visited Chesikaki Coffee Mills. We visited Msese Coffee Mills. And in Chesikaki, we had about 4,000 farmers. In Msese, we had 3,500 farmers, Honorable Speaker. And what members are raising legitimate concerns. And on behalf of the committee, I want to assure honorable members that the input, the advice, and their contribution will be put into proper use to ensure that this bill comes to pass. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, I want to reply. Thank you.
Chair Agriculture, maybe get guidance from the clerk.
Honorable Speaker, I want to request that we can defer putting of the question to a later date. Then we proceed Honorable Speaker, we ring the bell and deal with it. Thank you.
Who is advising the bill to be long? Not you, you are done, Chairman, you are done, Chair. Okay. You know, this house has rules and regulations.
Yes, sir.
And as a Senator Chalagay, the majority leader, you have no authority to call the bill to be long. You cannot call the sergeant at arms to ring the bell for quorum. Majority leader, you have no authority to do that also.
The 5 minutes. The quorum bell for 5 minutes.
Yes, I've been advised that we have no quorum, so I request that Sergeant at arms ring the quorum bell for 5 minutes. Honorable Senators, can we now resume our seats? Honorable Senators, the robbing is over, so I want to put a question. Senator Modigi, Senator Chalagay, Majority Whip. Honorable Senators, Honorable Senators, now that we have quorum, Senator, our good senators, Honorable Senators, I now put the question that the National Assembly, honorable members, Honorable Senators, I put the question that the National Assembly amendments to the Coffee Bill, Senate Bills number 10 of 2023, be now considered. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The nays have it. Honorable Senators, Honorable Senators, you know these Kamkunjis are not, last week we had a very comprehensive Kamkunji and we sorted all the issues that were raised by the members. So let us make progress on today's business. So Honorable Senators, from on the number 11, 12, 13 and 14, we are deferring that business. And then we are going to order number 15, clerk.
Order number 15, the Division of Revenue Bill, National Assembly Bills number 10 of 2025, second reading.
Senate Majority Leader.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that the Division of Revenue Bill, National Assembly Bill number 10 of 2025, be now read a second time. Mr. Speaker, this is for all intents and purpose and in full realization of what my duties are as a leader of majority in the House, the proudest of moments for every senator, because this is when we get to fulfill our constitutional mandate at its prime, which is to ensure that there are sufficient resources devolved to the county governments. Mr. Speaker, the Division of Revenue Bill is a constitutional function granted to the Senate, for which we must always take time to reflect and think deeper when we have a bill. And in the constitutional architecture, the thinking has always been that this bill begins in the National Assembly, though if it was up to me, they'd rather wait for us as the Senate to give our considered view before they input it into the budget. But given, Mr. Speaker, that this process is lost and convoluted in so many opinions and counter opinions, not just from here, but from all corners of the country, including nonetheless, Mr. Speaker, the apex court of the land, which in 2013 gave us one reasoning which we agreed to and survived with for the last 11 years. But then last month, they gave a particular ruling which we are still struggling to understand. That is not the context, Mr. Speaker, of what I'm to speak about, but I felt that it will be impossible to move this motion, Mr. Speaker, without reflecting and looking back on what colleagues, senators need to say about this bill, the annual division of revenue. This is perhaps the most important legislative duty any senator gets to undertake in their mandate once they're elected to serve in this House, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, the division of revenue prepared in line with Article 202.1, Mr. Speaker, of our Constitution, which provides for the division of nationally raised revenue between the two levels of government, which is the national government and the county governments for the year 2025-2026. This bill provides that the division of revenue raised nationally between the national and county governments for the year 2025 and 2026 ensure that each level of government has resources necessary to ensure effective implementation of the function of the county. If there is a fight that the Senate must always have, and if there is a process we must always defend, Mr. Speaker, it is this exercise of dividing revenue between the two levels of government. Mr. Speaker, in fact, I have seen speculation in the media on what is the position of the Senate with regards to the constitutional amendment bill that is before the National Assembly, and perhaps our position on Senate Oversight Fund. We have no strong attachment to the Senate Oversight Fund. If there is something that we want properly entrenched into our Constitution, Mr. Speaker, is clarity on this issue of division of revenue. And to affirm the position of the Senate, Mr. Speaker, in terms of how much goes to our county governments. The challenges in the county governments notwithstanding, Mr. Speaker, if there has been an invention, so to speak, by way of our Constitution that has ensured that we have a perhaps more stable country than what we had in the previous election cycles, Mr. Speaker, it is a simple comfort of knowing that despite the fact that there are resources at the national level that we have to fight for as a country, but at least there is 15% of that revenue that comes to our county governments, Mr. Speaker. And that is something that Senate sits proud about. And because I have seen our colleagues in the National Assembly have provided clarity, and they've said they want CDF to be at 2.5%, Mr. Speaker. If there is to be concurrence from this House, then, Mr. Speaker, it is affirming the position of what is the exact percentage on the specific financial year, Mr. Speaker, must always go to the counties. This business of the last audited financial accounts, Mr. Speaker, is something that has left counties wallowing in deep debt, Mr. Speaker, and having resources that are not sufficient to run the operations. Therefore, if our colleagues feel that 2.5% is sufficient of every national budget, Mr. Speaker, then let us have that 15% or 20%, Mr. Speaker, be the bare minimum, as such that when the budget is laid in the National Assembly, you know for a fact that that amount of money will go to our county governments, Mr. Speaker. That will be a beautiful trade-off. 2.5% for CDF, 20% for devolution, Mr. Speaker. And that will be a proper conversation to have. I know there are conversations about, oh, you know, by the time of laying the budget, it depends on how revenue will perform, and so on and so forth, Mr. Speaker. But what about CDF? How comes you want to entrench it, Mr. Speaker, at a particular percentage? Reflect back to the, Mr. Speaker, the budget that has been passed in the last few years. 3.4, 3.6 trillion, Mr. Speaker, yet only 300 billion plus, or 400 billion the last few years. That's on or about 13 or 14% of that particular resources, or just barely 15 of that budget goes to counties, Mr. Speaker. We need to set the threshold and agree. Not forgetting, not blindsided, Mr. Speaker, of all the challenges that are in our county governments, but knowing that the first conversation is let us devolve the resources first. We will go and deal with the issues of the thieving governors, Mr. Speaker. But let us first send the resources to the counties. In any case, it's not that it is for lack of thieves at the national government that those resources remain here. Thieves are everywhere, Mr. Speaker. And the ACC must do their job, Mr. Speaker. And in fact, on that account, as we move this, you know, today I saw headlines in the Nation and the Standard, where the editors are telling us, Mr. Speaker, that there is a fight back, I don't know, from the president with regards to his critics. Maybe the editors of the Nation and the Standard, Mr. Speaker, needs to give us the list of who are these citizens that are above the law. That if you become a Ruto critic, Mr. Speaker, then you can do anything and there should be no recourse to you in law. I thought a criminal is a criminal, Mr. Speaker. If you are found to have broken the law, Mr. Speaker, it doesn't matter which side of the political divide you support. And I thought it is as basic to that level, Mr. Speaker. And those are the basic tenets of any democracy, Mr. Speaker. This smallness of our politics that is being perpetuated by our newspapers, particularly the Standard newspaper, Mr. Speaker, and of lately the Nation, Mr. Speaker, is what continues to drag this country behind. We must rise above petty politics, Mr. Speaker. If a governor has been found, Mr. Speaker, and the institutions of oversight, the EACC and the DPP, are satisfied, Mr. Speaker, that that particular individual is misappropriating resources that have been directed to the county government, then there are constitutional processes, Mr. Speaker, that must commence, devoid of politics, Mr. Speaker, either in support or against, Mr. Speaker. And it's not the first time, anyway, that a governor is being tried, Mr. Speaker. How many governors have been arrested since 2013, Mr. Speaker? So there shouldn't be a special exception that there are governors who should be untouchable on account of the fact that they are critics of the government. What kind of reasoning is that, Mr. Speaker, that is being perpetuated by our leading newspapers? Anyway, back to the topic, Mr. Speaker, on division of revenue. Under clause 4 of the bill, it stipulates that revenue raised nationally in respect of financial year 2025-2026, which is the financial year that you're about to go, shall be shared equitably among the national and county governments in accordance with the schedule of the bill. Then clause 5 will provide that the actual revenue raised nationally falls short of the expected revenue set out in schedule. The national government shall bear the shortfall. This goes without saying, and that's why, Mr. Speaker, if you listened to me earlier, I had proposed only 15 or 20%, so that if you have a significant shortfall, Mr. Speaker, at least, because in the first instance you had taken 80% of the national budget and left it at the national government, Mr. Speaker, when there's a shortfall, then they should bear the responsibility, Mr. Speaker. And I must appreciate that that has always been the case, Mr. Speaker, save for unique moments when we've had challenges, like last year, Mr. Speaker, when with failure to assent of the finance bill, Mr. Speaker, there was a significant drop in nationally raised or expected revenue by close to 400 billion, Mr. Speaker, and therefore we had to review downwards what we had actually proposed in DORA. And if you recall, late last year, towards November, we had to do a new set of division of revenue bill. I can't get the figures exactly at members of the Budget and Finance Committee. Will recall that we had to do that, Mr. Speaker. The clause 6 of the bill, Mr. Speaker, provides that if the actual revenue raised nationally exceeds the projected revenue set out in the schedule, this has never happened, and it will be Christmas, Mr. Speaker, or Ramadan, if you want to put it, Mr. Speaker, if this was ever to happen, that we raise more than the projected revenue, what will happen in such a situation? The excess revenue shall accrue to the national government and may be used to reduce borrowing or pay debts. It's just a balance, Mr. Speaker, that if there was to be a shortfall, you bear the burden. But then again, if you're to get a windfall and raise excess revenue beyond what you had projected, Mr. Speaker, this has never happened in all those years, and I don't see the chance of it happening, Mr. Speaker. But if it was to happen, then that becomes something for the what is it called, the Treasury, Mr. Speaker, to manage our budget books better. I will be looking with more detail what will be the fiscal deficit, because that's the indicator, Mr. Speaker, of how much, what will be the eventual budget that will be projected before we eventually agree on this issue of division of revenue. If the fiscal deficit, and I want our colleagues in the National Assembly to hear me loud and clear. If the fiscal deficit is above 4.5%, then we have no reason why we shouldn't be sending upwards of 420 to 430 billion to the counties, Mr. Speaker. And I will be speaking to that later when eventually they lay their report on the floor of the House next week. I can't speak for now, Mr. Speaker, because I don't know eventually what they will agree, but we'll be waiting for the report of the Budget Committee Assembly. But my point and my argument, which I shall be pushing on the floor of this House as somebody who follows our budget making process keenly, who understands it, Mr. Speaker, and knows what ought to be the balance between what is shared nationally and what is shared at the county governments. My argument, Mr. Speaker, is that at a 4.5% fiscal deficit, then 430 is possible, Mr. Speaker. Should it be reduced downwards, then we can have a conversation about the figures that I hear being mentioned by our colleagues in the National Assembly, because it means there is limited fiscal space, Mr. Speaker. But we cannot have a situation where we are allowing the National Treasury to borrow significant or colossal amounts of money, Mr. Speaker, while sending to counties very, very few resources. Mr. Speaker, you will recall, and I wish Senator Moses Kajwang, the chair of CPIC, was here with us, that due to the court ruling, we met here towards the end of the session, and we received the audit reports of many of our counties, and we passed them one afternoon and raised comments and said we shall find mechanisms through ways and means of addressing that particular challenge, Mr. Speaker. You will recall that we, as a Senate, raised a concern that if many of our county governments, all the 47 of them without fail, were business entities, Mr. Speaker, we'd be concerned that most of them, or all actually, are not growing. And anything, the rule of life, Mr. Speaker, is that if you're not growing, then you actually, it only depends the speed at which you're dying. Could be a quick one, a slow one, but if you're not growing, Mr. Speaker, what are the indicators of growth, Mr. Speaker? And we said that many of our counties are not raising significant amount of funds in on-source revenue. We raised the fact, Mr. Speaker, that many of our counties, Mr. Speaker, I think it was about 34 out of 47, are actually doing more than 50% of the devolved, of their shareable revenue to pay recurrent expenditure, Mr. Speaker. Actually, less than 10 out of 47 counties, Mr. Speaker, spend more than 25% of their shareable revenue on actual development, which is the statutory edict as per Schedule 4 of the PFM Act Regulation 25, Mr. Speaker. And that is a conversation which I have kept on challenging my colleagues who serve in budget and finance. I know the vice chair is in the House, though she's not listening to what I'm saying, Mr. Speaker. And I hope that one day we come to a proper conversation about what needs to happen, because this is something that should be of concern to any senator. If out of these funds, it makes no sense, colleagues, to fight for 400, 450, while 90% of that funds, Mr. Speaker, ends up being misappropriated. Why should we fight to send 450 billion, for example, to the counties, Mr. Speaker, if more than 50% goes to pay hardly 300,000 or 400,000 citizens, Mr. Speaker, to the exclusion of the millions of others? If you go to a county like Meru, and I don't know what the population of Meru, for example, is, Mr. Speaker, simple mathematics, I want to believe maybe upwards of 1.5 or nearly 2 million, because Meru is a fairly large county, Mr. Speaker. 1.6 billion, Mr. Speaker. If out of your shareable revenue, Mr. Speaker, of upwards of 10 billion, your governor ends up spending more than 50% of it to pay employees who are barely 4,000 or 5,000 in that particular, what are you telling the rest 1.55 million citizens that don't work in the counties? And I have been pushing that as a house, we must have this conversation. And you know, it's simple. It's populist, Mr. Speaker, to say I've employed so-and-so. You know, nowadays, in fact, governors have found a new way of explaining. They hide behind very popular employment initiatives. I have picked young people. You know, I have to employ them as revenue officers so that we get more revenue. Or I have picked nurses. I have picked this or the other, Mr. Speaker. While it may sound logical, commerce has no sense. No, commerce has no feeling, Mr. Speaker. It has sense only. You either do the right thing or you fail. It doesn't matter the intention. It doesn't matter how emotional you are about it, Mr. Speaker. If at the end of the day, you're not managing your resources prudently as a county government, Mr. Speaker, the results will show very quickly. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I really want to request our colleagues to reflect deeply on this particular matter as we think about division of revenue and the things that we need to do, Mr. Speaker. The final part of this, Mr. Speaker, is that the Schedule 6 allocates a total of 2.835 trillion, Mr. Speaker, as follows. National government remains with 2.4 trillion. Equalization fund gets 10 billion and 405 billion to county governments, Mr. Speaker. I know the Budget and Finance Committee has thought through this process. They have proposed an even higher figure. As the Vice Chair comes to second, Mr. Speaker, I'm sure she will speak to the House and tell us what is their proposal before we eventually agree with them or see what to do. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, it will be unfair of me, knowing that this is something that many colleagues want to comment on and share their thoughts, particularly on all these issues that continue to face our county governments, Mr. Speaker, for me not to yield the floor so that colleagues can speak to this particular bill, particularly being guided by the report that was tabled by the Budget and Finance Committee, which I want to believe by now, Mr. Speaker, has been shared with us in the official channels of the House. Therefore, with those many remarks, Mr. Speaker, I beg to move and request Senator Tabitha Mutinda, who's the Vice Chairperson of the Budget Committee of the Senate, to second and take us home with regards to the 2025 Division of Revenue Bill. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Vice Chair, Budget and Finance, Senator Mutinda.
Kindly give me the mic. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I rise to second our bill, the Division of Revenue 2025. I really want to start by appreciating the Majority Leader. I've been keen on the sentiments and the submissions and the contributions that he has been able to highlight. But allow me, Mr. Speaker, to actually start by appreciating all the stakeholders that worked with us on this annual discussion of division of revenue, Mr. Speaker, led by the COG Chair, Governor Hamed of Wajir, National Treasury, led by the Minister himself, Honorable Mbadi. CRA, we've worked very closely with them, up and including, apart from the issue of this division of revenue, also on the upcoming formula that we look forward to discuss on Thursday. There was also the Institute of Certified Accountants, that is ISPAC, Budget Hub. I can't forget, Mr. Speaker, also the County Assemblies Forum that we always engage very closely. Kenyan Devolution Civil Society and the Coast Civil Society Networks for Human Rights, they also did their submissions, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I find it also, it's important to state all the stakeholders because the views, the conclusion, the recommendations that we are making to this House as a committee, Mr. Speaker, have been a process that we've engaged these very key stakeholders on the different areas focused on, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the bill indicates the projected revenue for financial year 25-26 at 2.8 billion, Mr. Speaker. But when the Minister for Finance appeared before the committee, he indicated a downward revised projection from 2.8, Mr. Speaker, to 2.756 billion. That is the downward projected revenue that this minister indicated in the committee when he appeared. And I'm pronouncing this, Mr. Speaker, because of course now with from 2.8 to 2.8 trillion to 2.7 trillion, then of course figures will change. Because you note very well, National Treasury and the National Assembly Committee of Budget proposed 405 billion for counties' equitable share. Unlike what we proposed, which I'll indicate very shortly, Mr. Speaker. The bill also indicated that the proposed county equitable share is to 25.79% of the most recent audited financial reports. And I want to emphasize on this, Mr. Speaker, because as a committee, we've really been pushing that the Committee of Finance at the National Assembly be able to approve the audited reports, because the Constitution is clear in terms of us using the last audited reports. And if the reports are not, approved, audited and approved, then it becomes difficult, but that was done, and whereby the amount is 1.5 billion. With this 1.5 billion, Mr. Speaker, then the equitable share percentage increases to 21%. The required is 15%. And so with the last audited reports approved of financial year 2020-2021, the amount is 1.5, which gives it about 21% from the 15. So it meets the required 15%, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, having said that, Article 204 of the Constitution is quite very clear in establishing what you call the equalization fund, into which it shall be paid 1.5% of all the revenue collected by the national government in each year. Mr. Speaker, we've been on this table, on this floor of the House, still on the issue of the equalization fund, a matter that is very important for all the counties, Mr. Speaker. There have been arrears when it comes to the issue of the equalization fund. Tabled before this House, the deficits, what has been remitted by National Treasury, and where we are as far as these deficits are concerned. And they should not be confused that the equalization fund is also part of the equitable share, Mr. Speaker. In consideration, Mr. Speaker, the committee was very cognizant, okay, of the budget policy that we did a few months ago for 2025. We did a recommendation. Our recommendation, Mr. Speaker, of 465 billion is based on the factors that we were able to consider, Mr. Speaker. For us to have concluded to 465, Mr. Speaker, there were factors that led to this. What I remember also, the proposal by the governors, the COG, they proposed actually 536 billion. But we proposed 465 billion. Why, Mr. Speaker? And this is where I want to be very keen, Mr. Speaker. One of the key issues is the housing levy deductions. These are additional recurrent costs that affects all the 47 counties, Mr. Speaker. And with this additional cost, counties need to do their statutory remittances. The PAC committee, us as finance committee, and as early as yesterday, we were actually in Kitui County doing oversight on the issue of pending bills. And you find that the governors are also part of the issues of non-remittance of the statutory deductions is part of pending bills, Mr. Speaker. If counties are not able to get enough funding, then what will happen to these issues of housing deduction? And I speak because today, Mr. Speaker, we were with the President, His Excellency Dr. William Ruto, at Mukuru Kwanjenga, where he has given keys to people to occupy their new homes, Mr. Speaker. You know very well when this issue of the housing came about last year, there were so many politics around it. But today, Mr. Speaker, we are happy that we've witnessed Kenyans receiving keys to be able to get into their new homes. Coming from the slums, they were also not able to believe that it is actually happening. If we do not consider the budgets for the counties as far as the issue of housing levy deductions, what are we doing to our people in this country? that are still living in the slums. Article 43, Mr. Speaker, is very clear of the Constitution. It says it is a responsibility of the government to provide affordable, good environments, comfortable environments for its citizens. And today, Dr. William has made history when he went to Mukuru Kwanjenga and handed over keys to people who are coming from places whereby even toilets were a problem. And you could see leaders politicking because you go to their houses, they have even 5 toilets. But how many toilets can you use at once, Mr. Speaker? Today, Mr. Speaker, when we factored the 465 billion, these are some of the amounts that we looked at, as I've said, the housing levy deduction. Mr. Speaker, there's also the enhanced contributions for NSSF, Mr. Speaker. This is a subject matter that we've always communicated. And the president has been on the forefront, talking about whereby people retire, you go back home, and you're still within the same, little means of what you are able to save when you're receiving your pension. But with the increased enhanced contribution, someone is able to at least live a comfortable life, a bit comfortable life, Mr. Speaker, even after retirement. Mr. Speaker, the children that we have nowadays, if parents are going to continue saying that I will depend on my children, the kind of children we have today, they are focused with their life. Totally. It's not like us that we are still taking care. So when these enhanced deductions for NSSF, when these contributions are enhanced, then it gives retirees an opportunity to continue living comfortable lives. It is sad when people retire, Mr. Speaker, and they have to really go back to living standards that probably they were not prepared for. The other thing, Mr. Speaker, was the issue of the CIPes, the County Integrated Industrial Parks. 18 counties have already received funding, Mr. Speaker. The question is, funding has already been given, projects have been awarded, contractors have started these projects. They're at a certain level. For Christ's sake, that is where we will see bloggers going out there and say, amount X of this money, in billions, in millions, was put in this particular project. But this project has stalled. So someone ate the money, or what really happened? And the narrative that goes out there is someone ate the money. And at times it's because we are not giving enough funding for these projects so that they are completed and Kenyans are able to see. And when I go back to the issue of the housing today at Mukuru, sorry, Mr. Speaker, it's so, it was so emotional for the families. And we were so happy as leaders because you are able to actually see the money that I'm being deducted today as housing levy. At least today I've been able to have an opportunity to see where money is going. And I'm sure by the time this project is getting finished in the next 2 years, Mr. Speaker, over 60,000 Nairobians will be occupying their own homes, Mr. Speaker. There's the other issue of our very good friends called the community health promoters, Mr. Speaker. This program is very key. It's a program that is shared in terms of the remuneration between the county government and also the national government, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we've met actually the CHPs for Nairobi, and they say the national government has given us our share. The county government is not giving us our share. And this budget is about 4 billion. I'm happy because when the CS was giving us his schedules when it came to matters health, he was able to indicate that there is a budget for the community health promoters, Mr. Speaker. So this is very important because already these people are already on the ground doing a very great job, and their remuneration is very small, 2,500 from the county government, 2,500 from the national government. Procurement of new medical equipment. Mr. Speaker, how do we continue running hospitals without the right, correct equipments, the modern equipments that are needed in this country? Meeting the outstanding obligation under the doctors' CBA, Mr. Speaker. The issue of the doctors, is a very, very pertinent issue that needs to be addressed once and for all. And as a committee, Mr. Speaker, because health is devolved. And if it is devolved, then governors or the county governments needs to get funding to be able to sort the issue of the doctors' CBA, Mr. Speaker. Hence the decision for 465 billion. I say like that, Mr. Speaker, because this is money. It's not pocket change. And it has to make sense for our brothers at the National Assembly to understand why are we asking that we approve the 465 billion to the county government. These are some of the many recurrent expenses for that matter, Mr. Speaker. Of course, the annual wage drift, Mr. Speaker. Every year, as you know, there's annual wage and salary increment for the staff. So where do they get the money if we don't consider this? But still, as I keep on supporting 465 to the county governors, I still keep on reminding them to sort the animal, the stinking animal, Mr. Speaker, called the pending bills. We cannot also be on the floor all the time, understanding the situations at the county and pushing for more funding if the governors are also not doing what they're supposed to do. There are zero levels. I was so impressed yesterday in Kitui County, whereby we met the county assembly, and they reported to us that their pending bills is at zero. They have no pending bill. These are the same institutions working in the same counties. Which formulas is this one using versus the one? And the issues of, yes, I know there are challenges in terms of timely disbursement of funds from the National Treasury, but all said, there should be schedules that should be adhered to clear that, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in our many observations, we note that there has been marginal growth in the county equitable share from the previous financial years, despite the substantive growth in the shareable revenue. Financial year 25-26, which is this year, while shareable revenue is estimated to grow by 10%, which is 259. Counties are projected to increase by 17.7 billion from this revenue growth, Mr. Speaker. That over the years, the county equitable share has an average of 2.23 of the GDP, and in the year 2025-26, nominal GDP is projected to be 19.5 trillion. Mr. Speaker, as a committee, we were able to make some recommendations, and we made the following. Clause 3 be amended to make a reference to Article 2021 of the Constitution, which requires revenue raised nationally be equitably between the national and the county levels. Mr. Speaker, this is an emphasis that as a committee, we really emphasize because it is in the Constitution. It is not our words. We are not making this. The schedule to the bill be amended such that the total shareable revenue is 2.7. Remember I said earlier, the minister tabled, communicated, projected revenue collection is not 2.8, but 2.7. We adopted that, Mr. Speaker. So the total shareable revenue to be at 2.756. The most recent accounts of the revenue as approved by the National Assembly, as I earlier communicated, is at 1.9, and for financial year 2021-2022. And I want also to add the National Assembly Committee of Finance to speed up on ensuring that the last audited and approved financial reports are as recent as the financial year 2023-2024. We are already in 2025. This issue of lagging behind, not approving this, the audited reports is not really looking so good. National government share, Mr. Speaker, at 2.2 trillion. And now, this is where we say the county government share at 465 billion. Equalization fund. Equalization fund, Mr. Speaker, is something that the Office of the Minister of Finance, they are aware of these figures. They're not disputing these figures. Figures amounting to 9.6 billion. And the equalization arrears at 2.7, Mr. Speaker. Every time they've appeared, they've confirmed that these monies will be put in the budgets. it is a high time we also close on this issue of the equalization fund, because time is not on our side. The duration was to be 20 years. The duration is almost lapsing. But it was clear that the project that had started, they need to be completed. But then how they completed without funding, Mr. Speaker? This is an issue that should not actually be in so much discussion. The issue of the equalization fund should be an issue that the Ministry of Finance sorts it out completely. Mr. Speaker, with those many and few, I want to urge colleagues to really support understanding where we are coming from as a committee. The stakeholders that I mentioned earlier, Mr. Speaker, these are very experienced stakeholders that we've walked journeys with, stakeholders who understand where we are coming from. And I also want to challenge the governors. Can you see your own source revenue? Can we see what you are collecting? Is it upwards? Is it downwards? Is it, standard? We need to see the projection of the own source revenue. As we fight to support the 465, as much as I know, with the proposal of 4 or 5, definitely we are going to go for mediation. I don't dispute. But as much as that discussion will be in place, can we see improvement on your own source revenue? You should be more dependent. By now, and I'm happy, Mr. Speaker, that on Thursday, and I want to remind and really urge colleagues, the issue of the formula is a very critical issue. We have our breakfast meeting on Thursday. I request that we all appear, or attend, and be able to have this conversation, because our aim, Mr. Speaker, with anything above 400 on executable share, we have ensured as a committee that no county will lose. No county will get less, Mr. Speaker. With those few, I want to really appreciate my colleagues from the Finance Committee, the Secretariat that really work closely with, and I do second. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Senators, I propose the question that the Division of Revenue Bill, National Assembly Bills number 10 of 2025 be now read a second time. Senator Mudigi Alexander.
Asante Bwana Spika, mimi naunga mkono mjadala ambaye unaendelea ya ugawanyaji pesa za county na pia national government. Bwana Spika, kwa hii kipindi ya miaka ambaye tumekuwa hapa katika kutoka mwaka wa 2022 tumekuwa tukitaabika, county zimekuwa na shida nyingi sana, na pia tumekuwa tukililia sisi maseneta county sitakuwa sinapata pesa ambaye inaweza kuwasaidia, lakini kumekuwa na shinda ya national government na MPs na pia na treasury. Hata tukipatiwa pesa kiasi gani, kumekuwa na shinda, unakuta magavana wanalia na watu ambaye wakasahau katika Kenya mambo ya devolution. Sisi maseneta tuko hapa katika kutetea devolution, na mambo ya devolution katika ile wakati wa zamani, devolution kuna serikali ya county zote zilipatiwa department 10, na mambo ya njabu Bwana Speaker, mara mingi kumekuwa na shinda, kwa sababu hata zile pesa tumetua tukipatiana kule katika county government, pesa imekuwa ni kidogo, departments zingine zimekuwa hasipati pesa, kwa sababu pesa nyingi imekuwa ikienda upande wa hospitali na pia zile zingine upande wa agriculture na pia upande saa nyingine wa barabara, lakini unakuta kama livestock na vitu zingine hiyo pesa haitoshi. Bwana Speaker, nataka niseme tumekuwa tukishuhudia counties nyingi magavana wamekuwa wakiteseka, wamekuwa wakipata shinda, kwa sababu hata wakati waliingia Bwana Speaker walikuta mambo ya pending bill na wengi bill kama Embu County kumekuwa na shinda, kwa sababu hata ile mambo ya kugawa ile pesa katika county ile mambo ilikuwako zamani haikufanya mgawa pesa kulingana vile inawezekana ama vile inafaa, kwa sababu tunajua Bwana Speaker kulikuwa inaonekana county zile asikuwa na njiweza zilipatiwa pesa nyingi, na zile county ilikuwa na njiweza ikawa imepatiwa pesa kidogo, na kulikuwa Bwana Spika, wakati itafika hizo county iweze kufanywa audit, ionekane kama zile county asinjiwezi ama iweza kutumia pesa na njia ile inafaa, Bwana Spika. Kwa hiyo Bwana Spika, mimi naunga mkono ndio hii pesa tunasema 465 billion county iweze kupatiwa, iweze kufanya kazi kulingana na vile inaonekana. Bwana Spika, tukiwa maseneta kila wakati wote tumekuwa tukiona health promoters, daktari waikuja pale kwa ngeti, na ni kitu ya hivyo sana, na hakuna watu wanaangalia. Na sasa ni wakati huu tunataka kuomba serikali ya national government na MPs na treasury, sasa ni wakati wao. Ile finance senate inataka ile pesa iweze kupatiwa ndio health promoters, daktari na wale watu wengine. Hata Bwana Spika, tumeona wafanyikazi wa county government wakiselewa kupata misaara na pia mambo mengi, na tunaona vile economy inaendelea, mambo mengi inaonekana, pesa nyingi zimekuwa na shinda, kwa sababu tumeona kama serikali hii unakuta kama mambo ya ushuru ya nyumba, mambo ya ushuru ya SHA inaenda juu, na ndivyo inaonekana Bwana Spika, kama county government wataweza kupata pesa, Bwana Spika, wataweza kuongezea wale wafanyikazi waweze kulia. Bwana Spika, magavana wengi wako na shinda, kwa sababu tunaona hata wakati mvua inanyesha hawapati pesa ya kutengeneza barabara. Mambo ya SHA inafanya kazi sahihi, lakini mambo ya shinda, hospitali nyingi karibu sote unakuta magavana wanalia hakuna pesa ya kununua dawa. Kwa hiyo Bwana Spika, ni mambo mengi sana inafaa iangaliwe. Unakuta hata mambo ya kilimo inataka kuangaliwa ndio kilimo iweze kuwa na njia ile inafaa, kwa sababu unajua Bwana Spika, wakati tulikuja hapa katika maseneta tulipitisha kuwe na health promoters na pia kuwe na agricultural extension officers, na kutoa wakati ule iende ikawa wengine wanaweza kupata pesa. Lakini Bwana Spika, kama counties zitaweza kupata pesa na njia ile inafaa, au watu wote wataweza kulipwa misaara, Bwana Spika. Kwa hivyo mimi nikiwa senator wa Embu County naweza kusema counties ziweze kupatiwa pesa. Bwana Spika, mambo mengi tumekuwa tukisikia vile MPs wanasema ati governors ama counties inatumia pesa kulingana na njia ile inafaa. Bwana Spika, mimi ningekatana na mambo ya MPs, kwa sababu kazi yao ni wapitishe pesa ikuje katika Senate, na Senate iweze kugawa mgayo kulingana vile inafaa, ndio county zote iweze kupata pesa. Ni sisi tunafaa tukiwa ma senators kuangalia mambo ya oversight na kuangalia vile pesa inafanya kazi, lakini sio mambo ya MPs. Mambo mengine Bwana Spika, ningeomba hata kama counties watapatiwa pesa, tutapitisha budget mpaka iangaliwe kama zile pesa inaonekana hiyo pesa siwe inapatikana, ndio county siwe ikipatiwa. Na pia Bwana Spika, mambo ya treasury tumeona mara mingi, hata nakumbuka wiki jana waziri wa fedha alikuwa nafaa atembelee katika Senate ajibu maswali, lakini tumeona hakukuja. Kwa hiyo Bwana Spika, hata mambo ya treasury mpaka Bwana Spika itaangaliwa, ipiwe mshasha ionekane ama ni nini iko na shinda, ndio waziri wa fedha aweze kupatia kaunti zetu pesa, ndio mwananchi aweze kufaidika, kwa sababu wakati huu tumeona kaunti nyingi inaweza kufanya kazi, magavana wanafanya kazi, na pia waweze kufanya kulingana vile inafaa, kwa sababu kusema ukweli kaunti nyingi governors wanateseka sana, wafanyikazi wanaselewa misaara, watu wengi wapati pesa kulingana vile inafaa. Mambo mengi kama sahi, hata nakumbuka katika Embu County kulikuwa na shida kidogo wakati governor wa Embu County, nakumbuka vizuri pesa ile wizara ya agriculture ilipitisha inunue chakula iliselewa, na governor akaweza pesa wakati ilikuja akanunua mahindi ikiwa imechelewa, lakini wakuta mpaka sahi yeye ikawa pesa nje piano nyingine ya kununua fertilizer, mkulima aweze kupelekewa na governor. Kwa hivyo saa nyingine mambo mengine Bwana Spika, governor wako na anja ya kufanyia mwananchi kazi, lakini kulingana na vile iko katika pesa mbali inatoka kunakuwa na shinda. Kwa hiyo saa nyingine tuweza kuwa magavana na shinda ni sisi, ni treasury ama ni parliament ama ni mali pesa inatoka. Kwa hiyo Bwana Spika, tumeona mwaka jana ile pesa hii mwaka inaenda kuisha, mambo mengi pesa hii kutosha, lakini kama Bwana Spika, hata kama ni mambo ya mediation, hata kama wale tutachagua professionals katika Senate wataenda kufanya mediation na serikali kuu, waweze kuangalia ile pesa isipunguzwe, iweze kuwa hata kama itapungua iende chini kidogo, ndio tuweze kusaidia ukatusi, ndio economy ya kaunti zetu iweze kuendelea vizuri. Kwa sababu unaona kama sasa wakati walipata pesa kidogo, wameweza kuangalia mambo ya kilimo, unakuta manjani, kahawa, makandamia, maembe, vitu nyingi magavana wanataka iwe value addition, na serikali ya Kenya Kwanza ina support, na vitu zingine unakuta kama mirasi tukumuka iwe value addition, ndio mkulima watu waweze kuisimamisha, ndio miaka itakayokuja serikali kuu ikiendelea vizuri na serikali ya national government, serikali kuu na serikali ya ukatusi iweze kuendelea vizuri, ndio economy ya kaunti zote iweze kuendelea. Kwa hiyo Bwana Speaker, mimi naunga mkono. Asante.
Sababu nilianza kuongea kabla umalize, naomba nimpe Seneta Mugeni Okongo Mugeni aulize.
Asante mheshimiwa.
Nimesema nilianza kuongea kabla malize.
Yes.
Angesimamisha hotuba yake anisikize mimi mwenyekiti.
Mheshimiwa Spika, unajua hii nyumba yetu ni ya rekodi, na vile tunazungumza hapa Wakenya wanashuhudia huu mjadala kwenye runinga, na inatakana yale ambayo tunazungumza hapa yawe ni mambo ya ukweli ambayo tukiuliza swali tunaweza kutetea. Sasa nataka kuuliza hoja ya nidhamu kwa rafiki yangu Senator wa Embu. Amesema kwamba yeye anangoja siku ambapo serikali itafanya muguka iwe na value addition. Mimi ningetaka kuelewa katika sayansi yetu, Mheshimiwa Speaker, atueleze kuna uthabiti umefanywa unaweza kusema kwamba kweli muguka inaweza kufanyiwa value addition. Nielewe kutoka Senator wa Embu.
Senator Mudigi.
Spika, ni vile nimesema mambo mengi inafaa pesa ipatikane, mkulima aweze kufaidika, ingawa hata watu wengi ni kama vile wewe mwenyewe ulikuwa hapa ulisema kama Mount Kenya wanakuwa favored mambo ya kilimo, na ukasema vile tunakuwa favored, lakini mambo mengi inafaa iangaliwe, ndio mkulima wote katika Kenya hawezi kuangaliwa kama ni mambo ya ule mkulima wa mguka mrasi kumura, na mambo ya kilimo ya majani, na mambo ya kilimo kama ya sukari, vitu nyingi ndio iwe value addition, ndio mkulima awache kutaapika. Kwa hivyo hata kama haijakuwa inakubaliwa, lakini kuna mambo inafaa ifanywe ndio mkulima yote katika Kenya aweze kufaidika.
Senator Mudigi vile aliuliza ni kama kwamba mguka inaweza fanyiwa value addition. Inaweza kuwa tengenezwa vitu gani? Mguka inaweza tengenezwa vitu gani ingine ndio uongeze faida kwake?
Mguka stukumura kama Bwana Speaker, kama inaweza kuangaliwa njia ile inafaa. Inaweza kutengeneza juice, inaweza kutengeneza wine, pia mguka inaweza kutengeneza hata dawa ambaye ya kuvuvua mili, ile ambaye kama mtu amedungwa sindano akiwa ako hali mahututi, inaweza kutengenezwa vitu kama hiyo. Ile kitu inafaa ni kutolewa pesa ya kufanya recharge, na sio mwoka peke yake, hata vitu nyingi. Ndio mimi namaliza. Kwa hiyo naunga mkono pesa iweze kutoka nyingi, na serikali iweze kuangalia mambo ya recharge ya vitu nyingi, sio mwoka peke yake ama mrasi peke yake. Asante Bwana Speaker. Kwa hiyo naunga mkono.
Senator Mudigi, umejibu vizuri kabisa, umeeleza vizuri vile mguka ama miraa inaweza tafutiwa namna ingine kuongeza dhamana yake. Who do you want to inform Senator Cullen? But he's done. But what other information do you have? Maybe you have some experience of what miraa can do better or mguka.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I want to inform Senator Mudigi that actually, as we speak today, there is a booming business of Jabba juice that is going on in Nairobi, and we have several brands. It's actually a drink. I don't want to say if I have consumed it or not, but I have seen people consuming it. It is called by brand name Jabba juice, with different brands depending on the company that produces it. And what this has done, Mr. Speaker, is that it has expanded the base of the people who consume Jabba, because ordinarily there are people who would not chew mogoka or miraa, but they are comfortable sipping the Jabba Jews and feeling the handers effect of the mirror.
Thank you, Senator Karen. Also, maybe I will advise that you should also taste and also enjoy the experience. The other benefits which come with the Java juice and any juice associated with the mirror, they have very good benefits. You should just try. Also, I'll ask our good doctor, Dr. Aliboni, you should also try that juice. It can really be of good benefit to you. I have that experience and I know it works so well. Senator Mboni, you are the next contributor to this motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, before I support this motion, allow me to acknowledge the advice you've given me that I partake of this. While you are saying it, a youth has sent me quickly, real time, we're being followed, that I ask you, does that juice have any aphrodisiac capabilities? Mr. Speaker, just for the sake of the youth who has asked.
You know, aphrodisia is the only you say about what does it mean? Do you want me to tell you what it can do to you if you partake it? That's why I want you to experience it. Just do, also maybe accompany Senator Karen. She will show you where you can get it. And then you just try, you can try them both of you. And maybe, because also she has not experienced.
Mr. Speaker, if next time I'm found with Senator Karen in Nairobi, please make sure that you explain to the husband, Somido, that it was with your permission. Otherwise, I was not going to go out with her, Mr. Speaker.
That make your contribution to the motion.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the advice, and I rise, Mr. Speaker, to support this bill. Mr. Speaker, this is a bill that you cannot oppose because we want to share revenue between the two levels of government. What you can do, however, is in supporting it, you spot the things that are not relevant or necessary in this bill so that we make it better. Mr. Speaker, for this reason, I support and propose that this House does so, but with the amendments. Mr. Speaker, the key amendment that we shall have to do is to ensure that the money reflects the functions that the county governments are supposed to do and the functions that the national governments are supposed to do. Reading through the bill, Mr. Speaker, the National Assembly tends to overemphasize what the government has called national interest. On another day, Mr. Speaker, I'll challenge either the Deputy President, because he was the first to speak to it, and these MPs, to tell Kenyans what exactly they mean by national interest. Are you saying that the functions, some of them that are done in county governments, do not carry national interest with them, Mr. Speaker? Really? Agriculture that feeds the republic is a function of grave national interest. And therefore, counties should not be denied money on the assumption that there is a greater interest that is only discharged by the national government. Similarly, Mr. Speaker, the question of treating Kenyans is a matter of grave national interest, is done by counties. Mr. Speaker, the matter of early childhood development education is a matter of grave interest to this nation, is done by county governments, and so on and so forth. So, Mr. Speaker, we would want to urge members of the National Assembly to try and understand devolution better and appreciate that all of them come from one county or the other. And that being the case, they should not, while making a decision on the actual quantum of what goes where, be tempted to think that they owe it to the national government. when we are dividing revenue, all MPs, members of the National Assembly and senators, must ensure the proper principles of division of revenue between the two levels of government. Mr. Speaker, I want to propose that this House rises and stands behind the proposed figures of division, where we propose that the national government gets 465 billion shillings and the national government gets 2.231 trillion shillings. Mr. Speaker, if we do so, we believe as the Committee of Finance that we shall have hit the balance and both levels of government will be able to meet their development and recurrent mandate. Mr. Speaker, as we divide this money, the national government must know that the 2.231 trillion that they're remaining with, when it comes to development, all the 8 regions of Kenya, they must see equity. We are tired, Mr. Speaker. We are sick and tired, Mr. Speaker, to go around the country, and when you go to one region of Kenya, you find it is 100 years ahead of another region in this country, Mr. Speaker. And the only crime that the region which is 100 years behind is because a son from that region or from a community of that region has never risen to the presidency or the office of prime minister. This bad behavior of development following the region and community from which the top leadership of the country comes from must come to an end in the new Kenya. In the new Kenya, we want all our 8 regions to enjoy development equitably. Mr. Speaker, it's wrong for one single region. It's wrong for one sub-county in this republic to be left behind. All sub-counties, 290 of them, 47 counties must, together with the 8 regions of the Republic of Kenya, be seen to move at the same pace. Mr. Speaker, in this particular 2.231 trillion that is remaining at the national government, we would like the cabinet of His Excellency, President William Samoei Ruto, the man we campaigned for, the man we support, and the man we want to succeed so that our country can succeed. We would like them to hear us clearly that we, the people of Western region, expect in this budget, we expect that for the first time since the creation of the country called Kenya, for the first time, the people of Western Kenya will enjoy the dual carriage in going home and coming to the capital city of Kenya.